Signal?
Yeah.
Signal?
Yeah.
It's September 12th,
Well, I did it
2024.
one short history. I was, it was Sunday afternoon, I was at home reading the Wall Street Journal. Look at it. What the hell are you reading the Wall Street Journal, you stupid ass?
Wait a minute, I missed all this. What happened now?
I said Sunday afternoon, I was reading the Wall Street, I went to Mario's and got the paper, the Wall Street Journal. And I was reading it at home, looking at it. What are you reading that Wall Street Journal, you stupid ass?
Oh no.
Yeah.
That is something. I had never heard that. So where did you get?
Well, they figured I was a billhead.
Well, I don't know about that. You got to give yourself more credit than that. So your brothers didn't like you reading the Wall Street Journal?
They didn't care about us reading the Happy Angels. They just say that you're reading something that was above your class.
Well, that's certainly not true.
That's
certainly not true.
Well, he thought it was.
Well, his opinion, their opinion.
He didn't read the Wall Street Journal at all.
I know, but people's opinion don't really mean much. No. So let me just pick up here so we make an introduction. We're on chapter 17. This is the second reading today, the 313th docu-series. And I'm sitting here with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. And we're talking about the news of the tragic death of Renee. And we're on page 490. And Mr. Jeckovich is from, just to update, Mr. Jeckovich is from Captain H, Company H, 2nd Battalion, 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich was a combat soldier, and there's not many left, only about 7,000 World War II combat soldiers. There's about 93,000 World War II veterans left. They were rear echelon, and so there are only about 7,000 of the real combat veterans left. Mr. Jeckovich has got a Purple Heart, 2 Bronze Stars, as a result of the war in the Battle of Bulge. Before I start reading your book, Mr. Jeckovich, what is your dog tag number?
It's a 420965.
All right, that'll open it up. Did you want to read a few pages?
No, go ahead. You're doing an excellent job. Mr. Jeckovich, you're doing an excellent job.
All right, I like to hear that. I love to hear that you're so chipper.
You could be a phony too, David. Yeah.
I love to see you so chipper today.
Yeah.
Huh?
He's knocking on the door of 100, and he's got the energy of a 30-year-old. This guy is good. He's been beat up. He's been shot. He's been bombed. He's been stabbed. You name it, this guy's still going. He takes a licking and keeps on a ticking. This guy is strong.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
He's Superman.
Look at you, almost 100 years old, for God's sakes.
Huh?
Look at you, you're 100 years old, almost. And look at you, the only thing they gave out were your damn knees, because you jogged for 80 years.
He jumped out of planes.
And jumped out of a plane and busted up his knees.
And walked through snow.
But look at, in the Battle of Bulge, he was outside living in the snow for 3 months, and Mr. Jeckovich released, with many other soldiers, of course, released many of the prisoners from the Holocaust camps and then from the prisoner of war camps. And those were horrible situations to see. Once you see it, you would never forget it. You could never get it out of your mind. And that's why Mr. Jeckovich, no one knew he was in the military until 2 years ago. He didn't say nothing about it. Everyone else that spoke about their military experiences in World War II in the rear echelon, they didn't see what he's seen. When they're releasing all the prisoners at the Holocaust camps and the prisoner of war camps, what they instruct you not to do.
Don't beat them.
And why is that?
Because the Constitution wasn't up to snap. They were getting fed, they're all skin and bones.
60 pounds,
Yeah.
70 pounds. And it's amazing that the treatment these prisoners receive, words can't describe. Words can't describe. It was unbelievable things. And the list is from A to Z of horrible things they did to these prisoners, but it comes to mind, which I read in one of Patton's lists, because Patton went there, and Patton's a tough soldier, and he's seen it. He said many times the damn Nazis would have them in like a corral in the prisoner of war camps, and these guys barely have a t-shirt on and barely a pair of shorts and basically no shoes, because the Nazis stole all their shoes. And for the fun of it, these Nazis, it's probably 20 below, the Nazis would turn on a fire hose and hose every one of these guys down. What a sick son of a bitch to do that. So they've seen that, and there's, words can't describe it, and we're not going to go into it now, but it's something that no one should ever have seen, Okay, where the hell was I here? As I drove home, I thought about Steve's situation and compared it to mine. He was from the same parents, but certainly we did not have the same talents or personal disposition. I thought his more favorable predisposition would go further in life than my meager ability and skills. Certainly he had attained more than I had at this stage of our lives. Okay, heading over to page 4.
Well, you went to Cornell.
Yeah, that was like, how did you get in Cornell?
Well, that was my father's doing.
Tell me.
Father knew somebody at work. My father was real good. He talked to everybody. He talked to some of these people who were in top jobs over there. And he said, well, your son wants to go to school, I'll get him into Cornell.
No kidding.
And Stevie didn't want to go.
Uh-huh.
And matter of fact, he had a nervous breakdown for a while, but he got out of it.
Okay, that's good. So your father opened the doors to Cornell for your brother.
Oh, yeah.
True? Okay, that's interesting, and that's a
He had to go to Niagara University if he didn't.
Uh-huh. What kind of school was Niagara University?
A regular Catholic school.
Well, at least it's a Catholic school. That's a big plus. So your father knew some people, and it was able to open the door for your brother, and that's a good situation. I bet your brother was very.
He went to Cornell, but he didn't. He wasn't happy there.
Why?
Well, I mean, his bringing up would get him ready for that Cornell.
I see.
The people there, the father and mother, were all the doctors and lawyers and everything else.
I understand. Well, now that we're on the subject of your father, let's briefly talk about your father. Where'd your father come from?
Vladivostok, Russia.
That's a hardcore place. 100% factory workers. The coldest weather in the world. And the factories would work you like slaves. You work 18, 20 hours a day. And generally where you fall that day is that's where you sleep. So your father came the right way through Ellis Island to the United States. And he followed all the procedures.
Went to school and everything, yeah.
He went to school, he took the pledge, he did everything he had to do. And your father didn't keep the customs of Russia, because when you're growing up as a boy, what did your father say to you about this language at home? What language?
What neighbors?
What would your father say to you at home about what language you speak?
He's talking American here at home. You don't talk no Russian, you don't talk nothing else. You live in America, you talk American. And that's why my kids weren't who that accent.
So that's an interesting fact. He became an American, and he wanted to live by the customs of America and not drag the Russian customs in. He wanted to leave that behind him.
No foreign language at home.
That's a good sign. And did many people on your street speak English, or did they mostly speak Russian or Polish?
On our street?
Yeah.
There were many Russians. There were Italians and Polacks.
How about Greeks?
Greeks? Not too many. Greeks kind of segregated themselves in New York City, because mostly chefs and cooks and that.
Yeah, they did own a lot of restaurants. It's amazing. All the restaurants the Greeks own and do run today. That's quite an accomplishment.
Gustavovic is one of them.
Who is?
Gustavovic.
Oh, was he a good cook?
Yeah, he was a good cook, and Viola was his wife.
Uh-huh.
He used to meet with my father and mother every Sunday.
Uh-huh. Where'd they meet?
At home, at our house.
And who would do the cooking?
Well, my mother would do the cooking and have a dinner with us, and then they'd sit down and talk around and all that.
Oh, that was nice companionship.
Huh?
That was nice companionship. Now, getting back to your father, being that you're knocking on the door of 100, how old was your father when he died?
43.
43. And how did that happen?
He had a heart attack, massive heart attack working on cement.
So,
And that's the day I didn't go with him.
well, at 43, your father was a hard-working person. He had a job at Carbrundum, plus he had several odd jobs that you would go with him.
Yeah.
And what kind of things did you and your father build?
We built food cellars, we built utility cabinets for them and everything else.
Was a fruit cellar very popular?
At that time, yeah, because they were canned during the summer and had it for the winter.
Uh-huh. I don't think I've seen a fruit cellar, to tell you the truth. So anyways, getting back to your father, he was working alone that day in his early 40s, and basically he was just worked to death. He wouldn't slow down, and he fell right into the cement, right?
No, I didn't fall in the cement. He had a heart attack where he started, and then he fell in.
Okay. And then what happened next? The police come.
Well, the cop called me up at 8 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and said, "Look, your father got hurt. He's in the hospital. We're going to take him to the hospital."
Uh-huh.
St. Mary's.
Then what happened?
So I went down there. They didn't take me to the hospital. They took me to the morgue.
Okay, so the police came to your house at 3063 Orleans Avenue, Niagara Falls, New York. The police drove you to the hospital.
Drove me out and they took off.
Well, did the police have you sit in the front seat or the back seat?
I sat in the back seat.
Okay, you sat in the back seat. And then what happened next? The cop just pulled up to the front of the hospital and said, "Here you are"?
Yeah.
Did he go in with you?
Who?
The cop didn't go in with you.
No, they just dropped me off. They took off.
And so you proceeded to the
And
front.
I asked them, "Can you tell me where my father is?" And she says, "Oh yes." And she said, "We'll escort you."
So that's when you went to the information desk at the hospital. You walked in by yourself. And
I thought I was going to go to a room or something, but I went down to the morgue.
So you walked to at 14 years old, you walked to the information desk, and you said what?
I said, "Can you tell me where my father is?"
And you thought they would have sent you to the second floor or third floor, and your father might have a broken ankle or something.
Yeah.
So what happened next?
So they took me down, and then, as they did, they went down one floor down instead of going up to the second floor.
What were you thinking?
I said, "What the hell are they going down here? This is different here." And that was the morgue.
Did you know you were going to the morgue?
No, I thought I was going out to see my father
So they took
in the hospital room.
14-year-old boy to the morgue. I guess things are different now. And then they said what to you once you got down to the basement?
They said, "Will you go through his pockets, please?"
And you did go through his pockets?
Yeah.
And what did you find in your father's pockets?
One can of Prince Albert tobacco, those papers that they roll up, and a couple quarters, a couple dimes, keys for the house, and a picture of him and my mother.
You still have that picture?
No, I don't have that picture.
Was your father dressed in his work uniform?
Yeah.
His work clothes, I should
Yeah.
say. What else did he find? Did your father wear glasses?
No.
So there was no glasses. Did your father wear a watch?
No.
Why'd you say it like that?
Well, because
That's not him,
we
right?
figured if I was working all the time like that, I'd make the watch. I never wore a watch either. I don't wear a watch now.
Did
You
you-
don't wear a watch, do you?
Did your father have a wedding ring on?
No.
No wedding ring, so you didn't have to take that. So you just basically left with a few items your father had in his pocket, correct? And then what happened? How'd you get home?
How did I get home? Well, either Loki or Stevie picked me up.
And how'd your mother found out about her husband's death?
She started to cry and all of
How'd
that.
she find out, though?
She found out, through me, or no, she found out, she called the hospital. She said, "When can I see my husband?" He said, "Well, I have to tell you, Mr. Jeckovich, your husband passed away."
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
No, they gave her a little memo. She was working at the carburetor. That was 7 o'clock in the afternoon at night.
So she was working.
Yeah, and she says, you requested at home, your her husband and your father got hurt.
Okay. So they didn't tell him of the death.
Yeah.
And so how'd your mother get home? Do you remember?
No, Looky or something. Sally, I think Sally picked her up.
She was of driving age?
Yeah, Sally was driving, yeah.
Uh-huh. And then what'd you do next?
Well, they didn't know what was going on. She said, and I said, well, let me take her to the stupid hospital to see what Dad's doing.
But you already knew he was dead.
No, I didn't know he was dead, no.
Okay.
I thought he was in the hospital, he got injured.
Okay.
So when they took me downstairs to the morgue.
Okay, I understand.
And that's when I thought I was dead.
Yeah.
I had a massive heart attack.
Yeah. Wow. 43, right?
43.
Wow. That's amazing.
Mixing that cement by hand.
So he didn't have electronic or any type of help mixing cement. It was all done the old...
Well, after a while, we used to rent, for the weekends, we used to rent a mixer at one of the hardware stores. Rent it for the weekend, and they'd use a cement mixer in that.
Do you remember what type of job he was doing the day that he died? Where was he doing? What was he doing? What kind of job was it?
What my father doing?
Yeah. What kind of...
He's working for some big shot from work, you know. The guy wanted to put a fruit cellar in the cellar, and he's working on that.
Do you remember what street it was on or where?
Yeah, and he's over in a good residential area. He was out of McCann or out there.
Like Buffalo Avenue or something?
No, he's way up there, yeah.
So he was doing that. Yeah.
And then they invited me for supper, for dinner,
Oh, yeah.
lunch, and I said, I can't go up all full of cement. Get up there, you're all right.
Okay, now we touched on that. My father was another matter. To my mother's credit, she never bragged outwardly to anyone, even though she felt she might have been justified. My father was another matter. Hence the several Packards secondhand which Steve enjoyed driving and being seen in. So your father did have Packards.
Oh, yeah, he liked that Packard,
Packards are great cars.
Steve would like that. He took that to school every day.
Packards were great cars. In fact, the interesting part of Packards were, not all Packards were 12 cylinders, but some were. And that's where Enzo Ferrari got the idea of putting 12 cylinders in Ferraris, because what Packard would do,
Yeah, they
run the
yeah.
6-cylinder side by side, which was 12. And even the Packards that were only 8 cylinders are considered straight 8s, and they're solid steel. And those motors were unbelievable. You could put a Packard in the field for 15 years, put in new plugs, you could put in new gas, and maybe some spark plug wires, and that Packard would run. Those Packards were unbelievably reliable.
They were a good car, yeah.
They were unbelievable.
A good car, yeah.
And 1940 was the last year Packards were ever made. Okay. My father was another matter. Hence the several Packards secondhand which Steve enjoyed driving and being seen in.
Yeah, he took it to school every day.
Yeah. Did you go to school with him in the Packard?
No.
No.
He waited because they come out to take it to school. I said, no, I gotta walk. I'm gonna walk.
Okay. Put it into some sort of perspective. I could see how I might be positioned I found in myself. I displayed no great talents. My life proved I had no outstanding achievements or success behind me, so why would I utilize me to take advantage, which they did. I was not going to bring any great honors to their name. Therefore, I was one of them and must share the load of the burden that life thrust upon me. Steve and I would never be close in our relationship, dwindled to a polite and nondescript exchange of words whenever we would meet. Nothing more. This would endure for the most of our lives.
Well, Looky was the same way.
Same way.
I didn't get along with Looky either.
Wow.
I was an oddball. I did a lot of reading, and then they thought I was an oddball.
That doesn't make sense. You're not. Okay, therefore I was one of them and must share the load and burden that life thrust upon us. Steve and I would never be close, and our relationship dwindled to a polite and nondescript exchange of words whenever we would meet. Nothing more. This was to endure for most of our lives, and there would never be any.
He had more good relations with Jimmy Duncan.
Oh yeah, than his own brother. I was back home, left to my own fate to do what I must, given that there was bequeathed to me as my own personal legacy. I could not help thinking of Jean and how greatly different she was from my brother, and how she managed her talents and great gifts in a manner more acceptable to me. Page 492. Work at the mill was intolerable, and I did not know how much longer I could sustain myself in its environment. I only knew I would have to find something comparable money-wise, or Mother would never let me hear the end of it. So you were looking to get out of Kimberly-Clark, but you couldn't find something that matched the pay, and your mother would...
No, I hooked up with this stupid guy from Canada. He was we were gonna put in converted burners and furnaces. I would do the electrical and the box and that, and he would do the rest of it. And we worked good for about a year, and then we were starting to make money. And the money we were taking, he was grabbing and going back to Canada.
Oh.
So I got rid of him.
So what were you converting?
We're converting from wood and coal to oil and gas.
Well, that seems like that'd be a great business.
Oh yeah.
Everyone wants to get rid of the wood.
Gas I wouldn't fool around with. Gas is too dangerous.
Yeah, and then the oil, you put like outside the person's house, you put like maybe a 300-gallon oil tank.
250-gallon tank outside.
250-gallon tank. You'd fill it up once every 3 months.
Yeah.
You don't have to be cutting wood, bringing in wood,
Yeah.
storing wood.
It was automatic. Put a
What a
little
great conversion.
thermostat on the wall, with light without the dampers would open up.
What a great conversion.
Yeah.
How long would it take to do a house converted from wood to oil?
How long? If I did it by myself, probably half a day.
And tell me what did it entail to convert from wood to oil?
Wood, you take the grates out and take this junk that they have down in the pit, the ash pit, and then I wouldn't convert gas. Gas is too dangerous for me.
Oil only.
Oil, yeah.
And then what?
And then I put the burner in the furnace that would keep the heat out. It was a burner unit. You just hook it up and that's it.
And then where would you get the 250-gallon tank at?
Hyson.
You would install that yourself?
I had someone help me take the tank down cellar.
How about, wasn't the tank outside?
The storage tank was outside, but there was another tank there was another tank down cellar too.
But the biggest supply was in outside.
Yeah.
And then, did the house have any scent of oil by burning oil?
Smell?
Yeah.
No.
No scent at all.
No, it was well ventilated.
Well, when you burned wood, did you have a scent of wood in the house?
No, it was well ventilated.
So, when you got your shipment of oil, what was the next step to fire it up?
In the furnace?
Yeah, when you first put it the conversion, how did you start this thing?
Well, I was working afternoons, and I got the thing. It was middle of the winter, and I said I gotta get this thing so Delphi doesn't freeze up there. So I had it running, and I called it up when I got to work. I said, "How's it running?" "Paul, it's warm in here. It's warm in here. It's doing great." I said, "You don't smell nothing?" She said, "No, I don't smell nothing." Yeah, it's probably sophisticated.
So So she wasn't about to complain.
No,
So
no.
was there a problem?
No, no.
Okay. So she was very happy with the conversion.
Oh, yeah.
Was your mother happy with the conversion?
Well, my mother took it that's what she was due. They expected to give that to her too.
Was it a lot cheaper than buying all this wood?
Well, the wood, the furnace would be out. You had to start a new furnace. I had the whole back side of the wall in the cellar full of wood.
Where would you get this wood from?
Well, in the summertime we wanted to cut trees down and chop it up and cure it, and then use it in the winter time.
How do you cure it?
Leave it out in racks outside of the summer cure it.
Was there many woods around your house to find all this wood?
Wood? Out in the woods, yeah.
How far was that from your house?
About 2 miles.
And how did you?
I had those stupid trucks.
So you'd fill up the back of your truck, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Wasn't there a company that sold wood also? Because I think if there's a lot of senior citizens, how the hell are they gonna cut wood?
Yeah, there was probably people would do that. Somebody did a business selling wood. Yeah.
Besides you chopping down trees and wood, did your brothers do that?
Not my brother, no.
They never did that. Did your father cut a lot of wood?
Cut?
Did your father bring a lot of wood home?
No. Well, for work.
No, just wherever he was. He traveled all the time in the falls.
My father traveled.
In the falls, doing from job to job. Job to jobs he'd be going to.
No, he wouldn't worry about taking wood home from the customers.
They left it up to you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me find out where I left off. Let's see. Those oil conversions from wood, how many years did they last?
The what?
Those oil conversions from wood, how long those conversions last?
Oil?
Yeah.
Indefinitely.
Do you think people are still using oil now?
No, they're on gas. Gas is cheaper.
But they don't. All the oil's pretty much gone.
Huh?
Wasn't there a company I used to see called Can Lake Oil?
Can Lake Oil, yeah.
They would deliver all the oil.
Well, they sold gas too.
Okay. What did you prefer?
Huh?
What did you prefer for your house?
Gas.
Gas. Okay.
Gas is cheaper and
About 2.5.
cleaner. Huh?
2.5.
2.5. Okay, well, we'll talk then. So I want to know more about these conversions. So you must have had a lot of customers because I think everyone wanted to get rid of wood. Right?
Yeah, they want to get rid of it because the fire was go out in the middle of winter time.
Yeah.
You have to get up and set a fire up. With oil or gas, it was continuous.
It never let you down.
Yeah.
It never let you down. So that was, you probably were very busy with people wanting to get rid of their wood.
Conversion.
And then converting it to oil.
Yeah.
That must have been a
I
lot.
could convert oil, but I wouldn't convert gas. Gas was too tricky.
Okay, but oil worked just as well.
No.
I wonder, oil was probably only about, probably 16 cents a gallon then.
Yeah.
Maybe less.
Yeah. Well, you could fill a tank up to about 125.
Yeah, because oil is pretty crude in its form.
Yeah.
It's not refined at all. That is really something. So that was a good business you had there. Oil conversions. Wow. Yeah. Did you do your house, the first place you did was your house?
The what?
The first conversion you did was at your own house?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Minutes?
Then I did the neighbor, oh,
Just about
that's a good job. We'll get rid of this stupid wood.
Oh, the neighbors liked it too.
Yeah.
I know most of the neighbors you work for free. Did anyone ever pay you?
No. No.
All your life.
Oh, geez, thanks, John. Thanks
All
a
your
lot.
life, you
Thanks a lot. They bought equipment and that, but they
I understand.
Thanks a lot, John. Thanks a lot, John. And then that'd be the end of it.
Yeah, I
If I asked to pull a right, I can't be. I'm real busy now.
How about a drink?
No, I
They want to give you a drink of water or something?
No.
They wouldn't do that either.
Yeah.
Oh, my word, that's something.
People are funny.
30.
So you did a lot of neighbors' conversions for them.
Yeah.
Did your buddy Clyde help you with the conversions?
I paid her, but he never showed up. Never showed up.
This is a great comedy
It's hard
activity.
to find good workers then.
It's hard to find good workers then too. You paid
He
him,
worked at Kimberly-Clark too.
but he never showed.
He never showed.
I wonder what
10
happened.
seconds.
Huh?
10.
Wow.
Oh, he had somehow cooked up in Canada.
Okay, okay. I see.